guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be talking about the new Carmi Kiss of Fire palette. This is by Makeup Revolution, or Revolution Beauty as they're also known as. And so I'm just going to be giving my thoughts today, my first impressions, and I'll do some swatches at the end of the video. So the palette was £10. I bought mine from the Revolution Beauty website, which I will link down below, and it was £10. The shipping was £1.99 because you have to spend £35 to get free shipping. But I ordered the palette on the Friday and it arrived on the Monday. It was really good, really fast, but I didn't get any kind of confirmation that it had been shipped. It just arrived on the Monday. You will also be able to get this palette in Superdrug and Ulta. If they're not available now, they will be available very shortly. So this palette is by Carmi MUA, and he is another one of the influencers that work with Revolution. So we have the Tammy palette, we have the Soph palette, and now the Carmi palette. This was the third release by them. So I don't really know much about Carmi. I don't really follow him, and I only see a few things that he posts on the Revolution Beauty website or their Instagram. So I don't really know much about him. Whereas I do know a little bit more about Soph and the occasional bit about Tammy. So I haven't really heard much about him, and I don't know really what he stands for, like what his kind of thing is really in beauty. So as usual, the palette came with a little insert, which I really detest because I'm gonna lose it, and I don't know what the shades are gonna cause. So anyway, but this is the palette. It just looks like this. So this is the palette. There are 12 shades and then 2 big highlighter shades up top. So 4 of them, the shades are matte, the rest are shimmer, the other 6, and then the 2 highlighters are obviously very shimmery. So I do like that they have put 2 shades of highlight. So they have got one for darker skin tones and one for lighter skin tones, which is really cool. I just wish that the lighter one, it has like this green kind of reflect to it. I wish it was more of a champagne colour, because I'm a little bit over like the mermaid kind of duochrome kind of colour, and I would just like some normal colours now. So I wish that was more of a champagne. When I first had a look at this palette, I did think for some reason of the P. Louise palette, and I'm not sure if it's because of these matte shades here, and also because of the size. They're very reminiscent of that palette, but also like the colour scheme. So these colours reminded me of that. I don't know why, but yeah. So I have used this palette on my eyes today. I used all 4 of the mattes and this duochrome. I used this on my brow bone, and then I used this colour on my lids. I do have to say that when I looked at this palette first, I didn't look at this palette and thought, oh my god, that's the look that I'm going to create. It kind of stumped me a little bit when I looked at this palette, because there's so much colour going on. I didn't automatically think, oh, okay, I'm going to do this kind of look with it. So I did have to Google some looks because I just wasn't sure what to do with it. As I said before, I don't really know much about Carmi, so he might be really all about the bright colours. But I found that with this palette, I mean, this might be fine for some people, but I wouldn't be able to take this, say, like travelling, or on holiday, or use this one palette. I will have to bring in another palette with this, because all the shades are very bright and the 2 lighter shades are shimmer, so there was nothing that I could use to set my base and use as a lighter transition. So I did pull in the Soph palette, and I used the white from that, and then I used this this peachy colour here as my transition. So as I said before, that I looked at this palette and I couldn't really find a look that I wanted to do. Yesterday I used the, this is the Retro Love by Bad Habit palette. This is a really nice palette. It is a dupe for the ABH Subculture palette. And when I looked at this, I originally thought, right, okay, well, I'm going to use this yellow in the crease, I'm going to use this brown to deepen it up, and this purpley colour as the outer crease. I looked at this palette and I thought, oh my god, right, okay, that's what I'm going to do with this palette. Whereas when I looked at this one, I was like, I don't know, does anybody get that, or is it just me? Maybe so much colour is intimidating, I'm not sure, but for me, I knew what to do with the Bad Habit palette. So when I tried the mattes, I really like the mattes. I do like Makeup Revolution or Revolution Beauty. I really like their mattes. They are really good. They're very pigmented. I really like them. However, the shimmers, they're not all the same consistency, and some of them are really crap. And when I tried this one on my lid, you can see how much of a mess I've made in this. And I have done this, I've said this before in Revolution, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you know I'm always banging on about Revolution shimmers, and yeah, this one just didn't perform well. I had to really dig into it to get any kind of payoff. It didn't pick up well with a brush. I should have tried wetting it, but I didn't. I tried putting it on with my finger, it still didn't pack on well, and in the end I just kind of had to abandon it because I was putting this colour all over the lid and you couldn't really see anything. So I recommend using this one maybe as a brow bone highlight. So what I had to do was to save this kind of look is I used this Colourpop, it's the Supernova Shadow in From the Valley, and I just kind of layered it over the top to give it a little bit of colour because there was no payoff of this one for me. And that's not to say that these other colours will not be as good as well, it's just this particular shade that I used wasn't very good. It might be that these other shades work really well and that was just the dud in the palette, but yeah, I didn't like this shimmer shade. This review is going to actually sound a little bit negative, but I do like the mattes, I do like the highlights. I need to give the shimmers, or the other shimmers, maybe some more chance, but on my first impressions it's only so-so. If I'm completely honest, I prefer the other influencers' Revolution palettes better. I think overall I like probably the Soph palette one of the best, because I think that you've got light shades, you've got dark shades, you've got transitions, you've got everything in this palette, and I actually took it on holiday with me. These are all £10 as well, these palettes, they're all the same price. And I really like the Tammy palette as well, because again you've got light shades, dark shades, transition shades, that I can use this one palette and get a look, whereas I couldn't with this one. Not saying it's a bad palette, it's just you will have to bring in other palettes with this one. It's not my favourite from the three, I will say that. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it as a first impression. It's not a bad palette, it's definitely worth £10, but there are other palettes I prefer from Makeup Revolution. So thanks for watching my video today. I will leave you with some swatches now and I will see you again later. Bye!